Hi, I'm Mary and this is Josie and this is Are You in Session? Today we are going to talk about ourselves in just a minute. So I was kind of thinking we could just start by telling like how we met. So why don't you start the story and I'll kind of jump in.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little introduction of ourselves too.
Yes.
So people know who we are and what we're doing.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Josie and I am a marriage and family therapy candidate here in Oklahoma. And I work at Family Solutions, obviously with Mary, so I'll let you tell about yourself.
Mary Scruggs, here in Oklahoma City at Family Solutions, and we are both kind of starting to find ourselves in the same direction as far as like specialties and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've been working on becoming a certified partner trauma therapist, specifically working with clients who are dealing with infidelity, have issues with sex addiction and things like that. So I'll kind of let you add to that too.
Yeah, so Mary and I have made a really great team, or I feel like. And so your work with betrayal, trauma, and partners has lended well to me working on the other side of working with typically the acting out partner or the partner with an addiction. Typically it's sex addiction. That's the field of work that I'm leaning into right now.
Yeah. In addition to that too, like I see couples and individuals, usually not younger than adolescents, and I enjoy the variety, and I feel like you're kind of the same there too.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more limited on like the adolescents. I typically like to say that I will work with older teens, but I really love working with adults. I do the couples, doing individual work. So I think I probably lean more towards working with the adult population, a little bit more guarded than you do. You see more teens than I do.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But we don't often see children.
Yeah,
that's for FSC kids.
Right. Yeah, good plug. So do we want to tell about how we met?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so Mary and I went to college at OSU, and yeah, go Pokes. I don't want to say unknowingly, but like we had more classes together in undergrad.
Looking back, we even see that now.
Right. Then we like ever realized we didn't really talk about it until we both got into the same grad program. So that's really where our friendship blossomed, was in grad school.
Yeah. Also at Oklahoma State.
We didn't change things up too much. So then we did grad school together. It was a fun 2 years, and then
2.5 for me.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Not because she was wrong. She did the right thing of 2.5 years. But then we realized outside of being therapists together that we actually got along well and wanted to be real life friends with one another.
We actually liked each other.
Yeah, it was great. A nice little relief in grad school, and you had some friends too.
Yes, to say we may be trauma bonded.
Go Pokes still. And then you worked here. So I finished school early, and I stayed in Stillwater and worked there for a couple of years, i.e. avoided the exams we had to take to be able to practice. So by the time you had graduated, COVID happened.
Yes.
And you eventually found your way here.
Yep.
And then I was in Stillwater still, not working clinically, and reached out to you, or like we were just catching up, I think. And I loved hearing about your experience working here at Family Solutions and kind of in this private practice realm. And so I thought, why would I not want to work with my friend?
Yeah.
And so here we are.
Yeah.
Anything you would add to that?
I feel like that was a really good wrap up. I was actually just sitting here thinking, man, I don't know what to add, but at this point, like, since we've been working together, I think it's been really fun, and that's part of this private practice experience. Like, sometimes it can be isolating, and we can talk more about that, I think, another time, but that's, in general, at Family Solutions, I love our group, and so it's just extra special having you here with me. And like the name of the show, we like to text each other, just, are you in session? And we can come and chat, and we can talk about work or just our lives outside of that.
Right, that's really kind of what inspired the name of the show. Is we were sitting together thinking, like, what are we going to call this? What do we hope to get out of it? I think, I don't know if it was you or I jokingly said, like, what do we text each other? And a common text, if you went and looked through our text thread, is like, hey, are you in session? Because usually we're wanting to come together to either talk about an experience we've had at work, or we're just wanting to catch up because we're friends and we want to, you know, take advantage of that spare time.
Yeah.
So with that, what are you hoping to get out of this video? What is the intention? What was your idea when we decided to do this?
When we decided to do this, that's a good question. I just think that we are really entertaining and everyone would enjoy watching us. No, I'm just kidding. But
I don't think you're wrong.
We entertain ourselves. So I think that out of the show, I would just like to be able to kind of share the knowledge that we have gained, and be able to kind of give a platform for people to see, like, one, that therapists are real people too, and just also get a taste of, like, the kind of work we do, and just understand, like, what therapy is, and maybe what it even isn't, at least as far as, like, how we perceive it and have been trained in that. And so I think moving forward, I know that we're not necessarily going to always talk about the same thing, but it'll be just fun to kind of share what we do know.
Yeah. I'm going to pause for a second and make sure everything's okay. Since this is our first video, we might be having some hiccups. Is everything okay? Let's ask our team around us. Something about our names should be on there, but we're going to keep
just
going.
Just a reminder, that's Josie, this is Mary. No, wait, I'm Josie, you're Mary.
No. Well, sometimes we're interchangeable. Yeah, so I think my intention or hope for, sorry if I just touched my mic and my hair's all over it. Hopefully we'll get better.
See, authentic selves.
Yeah, which kind of leads into kind of goals that I had or hoped for is that people would see a little bit of behind the curtain for therapists who work together. And we are friends, and so that adds a fun dynamic to our relationship. But then also, you know, a little bit, we want to give you a peek behind the curtain, I think is what I kept saying, what we go through and what we experience and what our day-to-day jobs are like. And so to kind of demystify therapy, obviously we're in a big trend of normalizing therapy, but then also just helping you guys understand a little bit more of what our lives look like from our side of the office.
Yeah, I think I love how you describe that of, like, what's behind the curtain, because I mean, even before now I'm touching my mic.
Nervous.
Even before we went into grad school, I really had no idea I had a thought on what therapy looked like, but you really just don't know until, obviously, if you have to go to grad school and get your master's to get into this field, like, there's a lot more to it.
Right.
And so it's really, even as someone who goes to therapy, like, I'm a client, it's still interesting to see all different perspectives because each person is different too. Like, your style is different, you have different clients, and so that's what I love about our job too, is it's always interesting. Like, we always have something to learn and we always have to improve on. And so I think that's also what's exciting about mental health is, you know, I think there's been a big boom in understanding what it is and what we need to do to help it and how it's important. And so that's been really exciting, I think, as we go into this more, and sharing the wealth of knowledge that we do have.
Yeah, absolutely. I love, and I think we'll probably touch on this throughout later episodes throughout the year. So we will be doing this once a month, the first Friday of every month. So we encourage you to watch Recovery TV every week, but if you specifically want to watch Mary and I, will be here the first Friday of every month. But I think we'll kind of talk about our personal journeys, a little bit of what helped us discover that we wanted to become therapists, what led us to our different specialties. But for me, like, I had no experience, idea about therapy. I had never been to therapy prior to grad school. And I'll
share that story right now.
Yeah.
I love the story.
Throwing myself under the bus. But Mary and I are also in supervision together. That's part of our requirement as candidates. So I'd been through grad school, post-grad, and had started working here for a few months, and somehow it came up in supervision that I had never been in therapy myself, although I obviously super advocate for everyone and anyone going to therapy for any reason. And Mary and I had talked about that, of like, yeah, no, I've never really been in therapy, and I don't identify a need right now. And somehow it came up in supervision, and Mary was like, hey, like, Josie hasn't been in therapy. And so thankfully my supervisor made that my homework of I had to go be the client. Yeah, at least look into it and then become the client. And obviously I'm so thankful for it. I knew it would be a good thing, but that was even just a different experience between you and I, and like how that impacted and shaped our therapeutic, you know, vision or journey.
Yeah. It's funny how we find ourselves just in general, like not practicing what we preach and then realizing, maybe we should do that.
Yeah, I would say this job, if anything, is a constantly like humbling job.
Oh, yes.
For many ways, but it often allows me to see like, ooh, sometimes I'm high on the hypocrisy of like, how would you handle this? How would you cope? And it's not how I would implement that in my own personal life. And then I'm like, okay, wait, I need to actually do some of those things that I would encourage people who sit in my office to do.
Yeah. So speaking of sitting in your office, I just got an idea, and you can tell me if this is silly.
Okay.
But don't you oftentimes in your couple sessions, like early on, say something like, tell me what I am going to learn about. We should do that right now. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't think it is, you tell me.
So based off of my knowledge about you, what I think the audience might learn about you.
Yeah, why don't you share the prompt, because that's something you do.
Okay, so yeah, if I'm working with couples, which I do, a lot of times I want to understand what, you know, a spouse or a partner thinks that I'm going to learn about their spouse and partner. Maybe one day I'll be able to talk well. Like, welcome to what people experience in my office often. And so it's interesting to identify what people find valuable, or the number one thing that they identify about their partner. So something, if I were, you know, the therapist and someone said, okay, Josie, like, what is something that you think I will learn about Mary? I would say that they will learn that Mary is very loyal to her people. That she's protective and fierce, but she's also so very compassionate and kind in that. So yeah, that would be the takeaway that I think people would learn about.
Oh, thank you. Those are very kind words. I would say people would learn to love. I missed that.
I said learn.
Learn. Okay. Learn about Josie. And we're saying as a therapist or as a person? Or is it the same?
That's great. You decide.
Okay. As a person.
Okay.
You are also very loyal to your people. I think that you also, you know, you're very action oriented. So you get in and you do something. You're not going to just talk about it. And that's something that I feel like also plays out in your work too. And you really... What are the words?
You tell me.
I'm thinking it, but how do I say it out loud? This is also a taste into my style. Like, you're really good about being with people, but keeping yourself safe, which is something I admire. I keep touching my microphone. Something I would just, I would love to see in myself, but that's something I admire about you in general. And that you're very funny. I think, like I said, we entertain ourselves. Yeah. And no. Let me backtrack. You're going to learn that Josie thinks she's funny.
That is 1,000% true. I tell people all the time I don't need friends to laugh with me because I'm too busy like laughing with myself or at myself. I can crack a terrible joke, but as long as I think it's funny, I'm content. Because
and then it's still entertaining because it's like, well, Josie's having a good time. Right. I'm kind of just laughing because she's laughing.
Or because I can't even get anything out because I'm laughing too hard.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people come into my office and will like enjoy ourselves and crack a joke here and there, and even that will change the experience and perspective of therapy. I think a lot of people anticipate coming into therapy and like, I need to cry, and there's a time and a place for that, absolutely. But realistically, like if I'm going to sit and talk with you for an hour, and I hope to gain some good wisdom and to have just a good, fruitful conversation, like there might be times where I get choked up and teary and like emotional, but there's likely going to be times that we're joking around because that's just how normal conversation goes. And that's my approach to therapy, is trying to make this as comfortable and normal as possible, given what it is.
Sometimes I find that maybe I'm laughing too much with my clients because I just have such a dark sense of humor, and they laugh and then I'm also laughing. I'm like, but it isn't, it's like that TikTok sound. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, but it was like, but it isn't funny, is it? Or something like
right.
that. I don't know. But I find myself doing that because I'm like, that's a natural thing that I do, and then I have to take a step back and be like, maybe we shouldn't be laughing about this.
You can still make it therapeutic, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you said, a time and a place, too, especially. All in balance, like all things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So now do we want to do our activity? Was there anything else
I think so. I know, I'm trying to think. Okay, so I brought in my game. We're not really strangers.
We're not
if
really
anyone
strangers.
Is interested in this.
This is a non-sponsored plug.
Yes.
So.
I just really love this game. So you've played it, right?
I haven't, actually.
You haven't played it. Okay, so I'll just give you a little intro. This is the regular one, so like the base pack. They are now coming out with like couples and family versions and friend versions even, actually. And there's 3 different levels. So the first one, let me get it out if I can. The first one is perception. Then we have connection. Then we have reflection. So I'm thinking we'll start with level 1, and we can just ask each other like 3 or 4 questions.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
We'll be demonstrating, because this is something that would actually, like, you might actually use in therapy, right?
Yes, I actually often use this in therapy, and I've had I've known a lot of people to get these games, and they end up loving it at home, just even with their kids or whatever. I think they've come up with a spicy one too.
Oh,
so the parent night only.
Some couple work.
Yeah, there's also wild cards on here. Do we want to do those? We can decide. I mean, it involves dancing and stuff. I'm not trying to listen to the microphone anymore.
This is already like on the internet enough. I might limit my dance moves.
All right, you go ahead and go first.
Oh, do we use the white cards or the red cards? Obviously, the white.
The red ones are the wild.
Okay.
So you pick, or you can just.
Oh, okay, I like this. If MySpace were still a thing, what would my profile song be?
Your profile song.
Yes.
Something either country or Sam Smith.
You're not wrong.
I don't know the song. I don't know what song it would be.
I don't know I feel like it's a lot of pressure to, like,
did you have a MySpace? Song?
I didn't have a MySpace. I was not
so
allowed.
You never did that. Okay.
I always got on my older brother's MySpace. That caused a lot of tension and fighting between us, because he'd be like, it's my space.
My space.
I was like, well, sure, it can be your space, but I'm gonna go look to see what everyone's posting.
But you didn't get to pick the song.
Yeah, or like the top friends. I'm sure in my head at some point that I figured out like who I would have on there, like the song, but yeah, I don't know. You're right on like it being country or Sam Smith, but Sam Smith is a little bit too like, I like older version Sam Smith, like 2015, I think. I should know, it just came up on my Facebook memories like 8 years ago. I went to the first concert. It was the best. But I think I would say that his are too like sad and ballady and like
for a MySpace profile.
But I don't really know. I'd probably do like Cody Johnson. That'd be my country musician. So I've got it narrowed down to that. What would yours be? Did you have a MySpace?
Yes, and my songs changed often because I have such a wide variety. It depended on my mood. And that was supposed to tell people what my state of mind was, because we were moody teenagers at that time.
How we expressed ourselves.
Yes. Let's see. Now it would probably be something funny. Like, I feel like I would want it to be a funny song.
I could see you like having some like Lizzo, girl power.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yes, girl power song. Maybe.
Okay, your turn to ask a question.
Okay. What do you think I'm most likely to splurge on?
Knowing you, again, because we're not just coworkers, we're friends, what you would splurge on would be something like you could and would maybe like splurge on like furniture or something nice for your home or your office, but I think you could easily like leave Target splurging and then you would look at your cart and be like, what did I just buy? Like, I bought a bunch of randomness.
That happened to me yesterday.
Okay, so I'm on track. Also, I just want to call out the fact that I really had the urge to like cuss, and I am trying to be filtered, and so this is my warning and my like blanket apology that if I let one slip, it'll be still pretty PG, but I'll try to be mindful of it. But like,
I love how real you're being right now, though. Sharing your mind with me.
It's like the Be Real app. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
We're just bringing it into
they'll
life.
roast you, so.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Your turn.
Do you feel like that'd be right?
Oh. Yeah, that because it happened yesterday. I remember getting to the cashier and thinking, this is gonna be kind of pricey, but not too bad. And then it was like $100 more than I thought, and I was like, what shall I return? And there are things I did find, and that's the nice thing. Sometimes I'm like, okay, buyer's remorse is fine. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna rethink all this stuff, and I can easily bring it back.
There you go. Perfect.
Makes me feel a little bit better.
That's great. My turn to ask a question?
Yep.
I feel like you're going to know the answer to this one. Oh, this is a good one. What compliment do you think I hear most?
That you either have beautiful eyes or beautiful hair.
Wow, that's so nice. I would say definitely the hair.
When you do like the
hair has a unique color. If I curl, I let it be naturally
natural.
Curly. Yeah. I might do that one for one video.
Yeah.
That or just that like I have a infectious laugh.
I was thinking laugh too.
I laugh at myself a lot.
Yes, and it is infectious. That's the word that I needed earlier. Yeah. Is it my turn?
I think so.
That's what's confusing is you ask the question and it's like about me, so then it's like, did you ask it or did I? Okay, what do you think my go-to karaoke song is? I bet you're actually not going to get this.
I think you're right, but I don't think I will. I feel like it would be like something dark and moody. Like your like teenage emotional phase, like you're trying to be I don't know.
What was I trying to be?
Alternative rock, pop rock or something.
Okay, you're not totally off. It has been Blink-182 before.
Okay.
So I think
I'm
fits.
Close.
Or Shania Twain.
Oh.
See, when it comes to country music, I love me some like female country singers like Shania Twain.
Yeah.
And it's like classic,
So classic.
So.
Okay. I think someone's trying to call me. Okay.
Is it our team telling us to stop?
Someone probably. Okay, do we want to do one more question and then we'll wrap it up? You and I can
What does our team think? Do we need to
We've
stop?
had 30 minutes, so we'll do one more question and then wrap it up.
Wow, we really are entertaining. This is only 5.
Ooh, I like this. What is the first thing you noticed about me? That's the question.
That's a hard question because we were around each other.
I feel like we've had multiple introductions.
So how do I answer that?
Whatever you think of.
Oh, I remember thinking she looks very familiar, but I don't know why.
That sounds right. Okay.
I don't remember any other impressions, but I remember that one.
We figured it out eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay. So we're done with this, right?
I think so.
Okay, I'll take these cards.
Okay.
I like to put them back before I lose them.
Okay. So go
ahead.
I was just going to give a little wrap up. So we're glad you're here. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, like the video, share with friends and family. Again, we will always have a video going on Fridays at 12:30, but Mary and I specifically will be the first Friday of every month. And do you want to share what we're planning on talking about next month?
Yeah, next time we are thinking that we want to kind of dive into what a marriage and family therapist is, because there's different types of therapists, there's different types of mental health work people. And so we wanted to kind of share what we specifically have been trained in and how that plays out. So yeah, thank you also from me for listening, watching, following.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed talking to you.
Blast.
We could have had 0 viewers, but I really enjoyed this.
This was great. Okay, well, we will plan on